This shoe is the Adidas Evo SL, and yes, it looks very similar to that world record breaking Adidas Evo 1. However, it isn't. It's actually a different animal, and the question is, did actually some of the tech trickle down from the Evo 1 to this shoe, or is it just a marketing gimmick? Let's try to find out. Hey everyone, and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex. In today's video, we have the review of the Adidas Evo Evo SL. This shoe is a new addition to the Adidas lineup for 2025. Limited availability on October 29 when this video is actually recorded, and then general release in March of 2025. So if you have your hands on this pair, it means you're very lucky because you won it in the Adidas limited draw on their app. Otherwise, you will have to wait until March of 2025. But this video should help you to decide whether or not you're purchasing it. Looking at the price point, 150 euros, and this will be a big point of discussion in this video because it's an interesting price point. Specs, we have a weight of 244 grams in this size US 10. Yes, this is a full size down compared to my US 11 because this is what was left when I picked up my pair in Berlin at the Berlin Marathon. Thanks to Adidas for providing us with a pair. It didn't really matter the fact that it was one size down. Of course, I could notice it and I wouldn't take this shoe for anything longer than 10, 15K. Not because it cannot handle it, just because of the sizing. And I would probably still go true to size. I will try a true to size version of this shoe as soon as I can. I would assume that this is around, 36, 38, maybe even 40 millimeters of stack height in the heel. Probably around a 33 in the forefoot. 5, 6, 7 millimeters drop, somewhere there. Looking at the upper of this shoe, we have an actually very comfortable upper, a new type of upper. It is a bit similar to the Adidas Evo SL2, but it isn't the same. It's a simple upper, nothing too fancy. The material isn't crazy. It's actually quite abrasive from the inside, but it was nicely comfortable and I didn't have anything to complain about other than the tongue that is not gusseted. It's a flying tongue, which moves a bit, and it was slipping in both directions, medial and lateral, when I was running, which wasn't ideal, but not a deal breaker by any means. The laces are not fantastic either. They're some of the thinner laces, and I would like to have something a bit different to make this upper really, really cool. But overall, I don't have, like I said, a huge drawback about this upper. The heel is not so pliable. It's nicely padded, but nothing crazy either. The insole is glued in, but barely glued in. You can remove it very easily if you want to put your sock liners. It's a narrow upper, however, it's a fairly long shoe and fairly narrow in the midfoot area. Yes, of course, this is also with a shoe that is half full size down for that matter compared to my true to size. So I need to also take this into account when assessing the width, and I will comment as soon as I can based on a true to size version of this shoe. Looking at the midsole, this is full Line Strike Pro, the fanciest foam from Adidas, the one that is on the new Adidas Adios Pro 4, which you can see a review of right here, upper right hand corner. But it's, I think, a slightly different version. It's really, really soft in this application. You can see actually when I'm pressing on the heel in the park with this shoe how it compresses. And most importantly, it's full Light Strike Pro. There is no stiffening element other than a midfoot shank that is positioned right here in the midfoot area, but that you cannot really feel when running in this shoe. Like I said, it's very soft, and it's also fairly different from all the other Light Strike Pro applications that I have tried in the past. Boston, Adios, Adios Pro, and SL2. This is really different. Prime X as well. This is really different. It feels different simply because it doesn't have that stiffening element. I was actually very surprised at how nice it felt when I was running in this shoe. I didn't suspect it to be so cool to run in a way, simply because I also had in mind that Adidas marketed this shoe as a kind of lifestyle running type of shoe in Berlin. Yet I think you can wear it with a pair of jeans. That's gonna work nicely if that's your type of shoe to wear as a sneaker, but it's also a great running shoe. Let's describe the ride of this shoe very quickly. The rocker point is coming very early at 60% of the shoe, which surprisingly I didn't notice too much in my running, mostly at slower paces. But as soon as you are trying to move a bit faster, you can feel the flex in the forefoot. It's not requiring that much work in the forefoot. It's actually very gentle, and the rocker definitely helps, but you're not noticing it as much as at slower paces. The instability was also something in the heel that you could feel. Nothing too dramatic, but it's a bit unstable in the heel. Also, again, because it doesn't have any stiffening element, and that wild foam is really exposed and is really kicking in fairly dramatically. It doesn't have a ton of bounce. It's more on the dampening side with a bit of energy return, but it's not super aggressive in terms of bounce. But overall, very fun ride. A ride that I think I would put, in the ballpark of the Rebel, the Nova Blast, something maybe even a bit like the SL2 to a certain extent. And yeah, these shoes are definitely the ballpark I would put this shoe in. A long run type of shoe in my opinion, tempo runs probably as well. You can also jog in the shoe, and that versatility, that wide range of paces at which it will work will make it a great training companion. I'm actually blown away, to be honest, by how pleasant this shoe was. That's probably also, compared to my expectations, it's definitely matched my expectations and went even beyond my expectations. And the only issue, I think, was the grip. Continental rubber, which surprised me because it wasn't as grippy as I expected. Yes, running in a park with dead leaves isn't ideal, but that should also be a good test to try, an outsole rubber. And here I had some slippage in the forefoot, but also a bit in the heel when landing. I'm, that sort of midfoot to heel striker somewhere here, and I could feel a bit of, slippage on the ground. Also in the forefoot at faster paces, I could feel that my forefoot wasn't as secure as I wanted against the ground, and that contact wasn't as ideal in terms of traction and grip. Let's try it in other circumstances: wet track, dry roads, maybe some, light gravel or packed dust type of surface, just to make sure that it's actually not as bad as I experienced today, because this was really a drawback for me today. And to a certain extent, because I never had any issues with Continental rubber, this came really as a surprise. 150 euros, $150 is a great price point for this shoe. Again, same price point as the Nova Blast, for instance, which is a good comparison point against this shoe. A bit cheaper than the Zoom Fly 6 from Nike. Also, I think, in my opinion, a bit better, but if you want to know more about a comparison, we'll do a comparison against the Zoom Fly 6 very soon on the channel. I think they nailed it. It's definitely very different from the Evo 1, and for anyone who was thinking they're getting an Evo 1 little sister, it isn't. It's definitely a daily trainer, a faster daily trainer, but it's not an interval shoe, it's not a threshold shoe. You can do some threshold in this shoe, however, but it's not meant for faster paces only. It's gonna suit, many people for lots of different paces, and it's gonna make a good training shoe for hitting miles in the near future if you're training for races or just having fun running. I hope you enjoyed this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Enjoy your run today, enjoy your ride, go beyond the limits, and let's link to the review of the Adidas Pro 4, a shoe that you can purchase on toprunning.com with code META. That helps us. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.